Hello, my name is Raymond Karczewski. Tonight I should like to read a letter from and to Elaine Brown regarding the state of affairs in American politics today. Ed and Elaine Brown are a courageous elderly couple from New Hampshire who are currently in prison for standing up to the American courts and demanding the fictional courts prove jurisdiction over them, the living, breathing, flesh and blood, sentient natural man and woman of the sovereign people. Their demand that the law which required them to pay income tax was never shown them, yet they were convicted. The following letter applies to such tyranny used by our courts as they impose their tyrannical color of law upon the American people today. Elaine starts off by saying, "Hi, Ray. No, you wouldn't say anything to offend me. I don't always have much to say. I've always been one to keep my own counsel, and do not often express my opinions. Perhaps that is a weakness. I value this experience, as it has taught me much, both on the earthly and spiritual levels. My walk with Yahweh has since become more frequent and meaningful. That is the important thing. No matter where I may be, free or not, I am free as long as I am with Christ. How I wish I had not wasted so many years without Him. I value friendships with people such as yourself. I am working through things, and values and priorities change as we grow in grace and faith. I have always been quiet. I grew up in a quiet household also. Thank you for being with Ed and me. We both value you and your friendship. Love and blessings, Elaine." My response to Elaine was thus: "Dear Elaine, although this might be considered by you to run counter to your current belief, the word Christ reflects that state of consciousness which is based in truth. It is non-dualistic. In other words, holistic, holy, and it encompasses all that is in that moment of perception that is the unfolding eternal moment of now. It is the very nature of God, infinite, timeless, without beginning, without end. Civilized man lives in their conditioned, programmable, time-bound, linear intellects, by outer authority, using media to condition the mass mind according to the limitations set by such satanic leadership. As such, no civilized approach to life can be true. Why? Because they soon come to their own self-limitations and thus end. That ending is the source of division, which accounts for political and religious mindsets which vie for satanic power. It is this that is the creator of hell on earth. Any simple man or woman of truth is a Christ. They use their intellects for technical problem solving and communication with other intellects, where such mechanical, memory-based techniques are absolutely necessary, but otherwise they, of Christ consciousness, are perceiving life directly, in an holistic manner, via divine awareness, which is Christ consciousness. My link with you and Ed is primarily spiritual in nature. I perceive that you and Ed are in prison today because you were swept up by the present satanic opposing forces of our present government and court system, while trusting and relying upon a mass patriotic consciousness of an illusory social movement which betrayed you. How? The movement was composed of those who were all talk and no action. You were focused upon by government because you stood up and acted, protested the unlawful tyranny of the American public via IRS extortion techniques. Your actions were clearly unlike all those supporters who were behind you, supporting you all the way. Your court case was a trial balloon to test public reaction, to see how far government could go without a restraining reaction from the public. However, the mistake made in your case is that you resisted evil, thus giving strength to that which was resisted, that is, the government and its courts. The courts of Oregon and Josephine County went after me as a paper terrorist, also another government trial balloon, to test the public's reaction to the recent passing of the first Patriot Act. I did not resist them. I boycotted them. I never varied from my demand that they, the fictional government courts, prove jurisdiction over this living, breathing, flesh and blood, sentient natural man of the sovereign people. Throughout my entire ordeal, which continues to this very day, 9 years later, I held to that position. So when they convicted the dead, fictional, juristic person, whose name is spelled in all capital letters, through my copywriting of my name, separating the two entities, the fictional, juristic person, and me, the living, breathing, natural man, I established, in an inarguable way, whom the courts had jurisdiction over, and it wasn't me. When it came time for sentencing, I merely refused to accept the court's contract offer of sentencing. Without my consent, or a binding contract struck between myself and the courts, wherein they had to have my agreement to my own incarceration. Now, how dumb would that be? You see, they had no choice but to throw me out of their jail. They will not arrest me now, even though I continue to do the very same things for which they originally came after me, as a paper terrorist. I write of this almost daily on the American Internet. Yet the tyranny deepens, and the public's fear increases. Go figure. Elaine, yours and Ed's release will come when the American public awakens to the true power that is the essence of the sovereign people of this constitutional republic. The American people are controlled via the satanic technique of divide and conquer. All governments operate through raw power and respond only to large numbers. That's how they can set up and kill any man, even a Jesus Christ. But they quiver and quake and shiver and shake and run out of the courtroom when faced with the prospect of answering the question of jurisdiction. All their power, their facilities, their foreboding presence evaporates at the prospect of dealing with any simple man or woman of truth who understands the wisdom of resist not evil through the technique of boycott, boycott, boycott. Such peaceful resolution to social problems runs counter to the civilized public's satanic conditioning, which glorifies death, destruction, as heroism, and glorified martyrdom. It never occurs to people that they hold the power of their own lives in their hands, and thus are the creators of their own destiny. They have been reading of my experiences over the last 15 years on the internet, and miraculously are still blind to the efficacy of my spiritual position of boycott, 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 by unfailingly standing as a living, breathing, flesh and blood, sentient natural man of the sovereign people, thus standing beyond their satanic color of law reach. As I live by God's law, do no harm, as being true and accurate. One can lead a herd of thirsty horses to water, but if they are overcome by fear, they still will not drink. That seems to be the predicament the American public now finds themselves in. Have heart, Elaine, for your time of release will be soon.